It's time for Dads Making a Difference, powered by First Things First. This transformative show will help you learn how to handle the stress of fatherhood, how to better relate to your child, navigate the child support system, and all things that come with being a dad. With your hosts, Reggie Madison and James Frankie Woods.
We write our own stories by how we live our lives. Sometimes we don't realize that not only are we the story, but we are also the writer of that story. Our guest today was living out a story that he wouldn't want to read. So he got a new pen, ended the chapter, and started a whole new story with a whole new ending. And not only has it changed his life, but it's changed the lives of all the people close to him. Today, we welcome Andre Pope to the show.
Andre, my guy.
What's up, James?
Welcome, man.
Welcome, man.
Tell us a little bit about you, just who you are, what you do, who your family, that kind of thing.
All right. My name's Andre, and I build tufting machines. That's what I do for a living. I build machines that make carpet, and it's just as boring as it sounds. So I'm a father and a husband. I got a beautiful wife named Elena, and I got 2 kids, 2 little girls, and I got my 3rd little girl on the way. Their names are Addison, Amara, and Eden. And Eden should be here in the next 2 weeks.
3 girls.
3 girls. He in trouble.
Yeah, he is.
He in trouble.
We need to have him back in a few years when it comes time to hear, the stories of daddies and their girls. We'll have him back, right?
Right. Oh man. Go ahead.
Tell us your daddy's story. What was your dad present? What did you think what was your experience like?
My dad has been in my life pretty much my whole life. Now he's not my father by blood, but he's been with my mom, or he was with my mom ever since I was like 6 months old. And I can't really remember a time without him. So he's always been there for me. My parents, they split when I was 6. So there was a little bit of time there where I didn't see him as much. But I would say today, him and I are closer than we've ever been before.
Wow, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Man. See how you just said that, man? Like, it's amazing to hear fathers who ain't biological fathers be fathers.
Right.
As long as I've known him, that's the first time I think I've ever heard him say he wasn't my blood father.
You know what I'm saying?
I would have never known.
That's my dad.
That's good stuff.
Man.
Till about 4 years ago, you were kind of headed in the wrong direction. Tell us about that.
So I've always dealt with a lot of anger in the wrong ways. So like 4 or 5 years ago, me and my wife were just going through it really, and I didn't really know how to handle any type of disagreements or arguments or anything, and so a few of our arguments ended with me going to jail, and so it was a really hard time, and just trying to figure out. Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this the life that I'm supposed to be living or whatever? And for a long time, I felt like, or I won't say a long time, but for a while, I felt like, maybe I got married too early. Maybe I even married the wrong one. And, it took a lot of talking to people, including you, Reggie. And, I finally realized, like, okay, everybody has troubles in the relationship, and there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. So once I figured that out, I realized, I got to start putting work in my relationship, because it don't just happen like magic.
So that anger, man, like, I remember you even had your 1-year-old at the time. She was 1 from a previous relationship. Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, like, even some of that anger was affecting your ability to see her, Addie.
Oh, yeah. So I remember her mom had got a new boyfriend, and the day that I went to meet him, I had I had something else going on that I just, I kind of freaked out about it. And then I was actually on my way to pick up my daughter from her. And whenever I got there, I was on the phone with the person I was upset with, and I was just kind of like going crazy and just talking crazy. And then she ended up telling me, I'm not comfortable with you taking Addison today. And so that kind of, blew my mind. Like I had never really been told no, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for her to say that, that caused another crazy reaction in me that caused me to explode on her. I didn't realize like I was setting myself back just by displaying my anger like that.
Wow. Man, that's what like where did that anger come from?
I really don't know. I grew up in the house with, it was mostly just, since I was 6, mostly me and my mom. And I never really had anybody show me how to handle my emotions, I guess like a man, And so I guess I've always just thrown tantrums. So that was what I knew.
That's funny. Everybody talk about 2-year-olds throwing tantrums, but you don't really realize he said it like as grown men, sometimes
we do we got.
Yeah.
We do we got. But one thing I can say is you are always a positive brother. Like every time we talk is always uplifting, is always that. So what changed? What made you change? What's changing your home life and that with that change in what you now? Like were you giving guys the guidance that you give guys now?
So the biggest change in my life, I would have to give that to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I grew up in the church and I heard about Jesus, but I never really wanted to make any changes or do anything to try and grow a relationship with Christ. So once I guess after the third time of me going to jail, I was sitting in jail just praying and realized like, you know what, I really can't do this by myself. So I gotta give God all the credit on my change.
Mm-hmm. And so what all have you done to just get that mindset in that process? Because we know a lot of people that, we talk about jailhouse religion sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. And then they never really get their mindset willing to live that out.
Right. So even after the third time going to jail, I guess I had jailhouse Jesus. And I got back out and I just kind of went back to my old ways and for a short period of time and then I just decided to try again. And I realized, once I realized I'm not in control of this life, it made it a lot easier for me to give that up to him. And so I guess my first move was going to DMD and just learning how to co-parent with somebody that I'm not with and learning how to communicate and all that. And through all of it, praying the whole time. So I just felt the changes coming, just the blessings back to back to back. And it blew my mind. So now, I got a unbreakable faith.
That's good stuff.
Very good stuff, man. So DMD changed you a lot, man. So speaking to DMD, let these fellas know what Dad's Making a Difference is about from your point of view.
Right.
What it done for you outside of that.
Definitely connected me with a lot of people, a lot of positive people that I needed in my life because I really, I've never surrounded myself with positive people. So that's probably the biggest takeaway I got from DMD was just the people that I met, the networking and all that, and learning that, I'm not the only one going through it like that.
Right.
And it's a lot more common than I realized. Like, I've heard about it, but to be in DMD and to talk to other dads and hear what they're going through and realize like, man, I actually got it kind of good. Like it really ain't that bad. I think I'm gonna stop complaining so much.
You hear that, Phil? I'm telling you, man, like that's the biggest takeaway from, and we say DMD, but it's actually Dad's Making a Difference. But when you've been through DMD, you own it. You know what I mean? So that's why you say DMD, because you owned it. And you abbreviate it because you know what it meant to you, you know what I mean?
Right.
So when we say dads make a difference because we alumni and we own that situation.
Right.
So I'm proud of you. So today, before we get into these questions, today I get a chance to say this. Thank you, Andre Pope. Thank you, Andre Pope, for being a great father. Thank you, Andre Pope, for being a great man. Thank you, Andre Pope, for being a great leader. And you are a king. And you represent your family well. And don't ever give up.
Thank
And so today, from Dads Making a Difference, we get a chance to say thank you. And this radio show is not just about us. It's about fathers like you who want to make the change, who are not afraid to come on this radio station and say, I messed up, but I'm a man. Yep. And we as men, we all mess up. But the thing about it is you took your chance to say, okay, I'm going to pull somebody else up with me. So we get a chance to say thank you today, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
having
He
me.
said something while he was saying that. He talks about representing your family. You're now leading your family.
Yes, he is.
Like, what does that even feel like? What's that mean to you?
So I feel like just to lead my family, my biggest thing that I want for my family is to show my kids that they're not going to grow up in a broken home, that they are, mom and dad are always going to be there for them. And, whenever they see us having trouble, it's always fixable. We can always come back from anything because, like I said, me and my wife been through it. And, I hope that my kids don't ever have to see any of the things that we went through in the past, in the future. But I know there's still going to be trials. So I just want them to know that they can overcome anything.
Did you ever want to give up?
Many times. Many times I wanted to give up. Sometimes it felt like just this is unfixable. But, I stand here today happier than I've ever been. My relationship's better than it's ever been. And, I feel like my family is good. We're tight. We're in a good direction.
Gotcha. You're very vulnerable and transparent guy. So what helps you be that person? What helps you be like a very transparent person and sharing a vulnerability with guys?
People being transparent with me and opening up to me about their life and stuff. And I feel like that had a lot to do with what opened my eyes and changed me. So I hope that, with me being vulnerable and transparent with other people, that they can hear that, I've been through it and I just want to be honest and just keep it real with people so they know, like, I got nothing to hide.
And I'm going to take that even a step further, man, because part of what I admire about you is your openness and your transparency. And so most guys don't want people to know any of their dirt. Mm-hmm. And so as a result, we close off the help we can receive and how we can then benefit others. And I know personally I've seen how other guys, including myself, have been strengthened, have gotten better because of your transparency. And, like, it's just one of those things that you just want to bottle up and take the air. Like, every man needs to drink some of this Andre potion.
Little Andre juice.
Right.
Me, myself, I drunk some, so I understand. I understand, man. And we meet at, we used to meet at the breakfast spot, and the first time we talking, and we kind of looked at each other, we talking. I said, man, you know what, man, you got the same things I think about. He said, I know, bro. And so from that day forward, this is my brother.
Yeah.
This is my brother. And I can glad to say that today. This is my brother because we was very vulnerable with each other. We can have conversations like we have deep conversations. Yeah. And so, it's just amazing that I get a chance to say you my brother today. You know what I mean? And I get a chance the word to say we come from similar backgrounds and different environments. But guess what? We still made it.
Oh, yeah.
We made it, and we gonna make it together. That's the most important thing we do for each other. It's just like when we talk, man. It's like, man, we pick up where we left off at. We ain't talked to each other in a couple of days, but like, oh man, you remember that day we was talking? Like, yeah. So it's cool to know you, bro. Yeah. It's cool to say I know Andre Pope. You know what I mean? Because you know how people get that stigma like, oh man, you know him? Nah, I know Andre. Yeah, I know the good and the bad, so I can say I know Andre.
Yeah.
So,
you have been like really intentional.
Yep.
About staying connected, staying in community. Why is that?
Because I know when I get away from the positivity, it's very easy to spiral out of control. Yeah. I can go downhill so fast. So I know I gotta stay connected, because if I don't, ain't no telling where I'm gonna go.
That's a lot of guys right there. That's a lot of us. It's whew.
Gotcha.
Man.
So one question, we got to get questions. We're going to ask you, what makes dads irreplaceable?
So I feel like dads are irreplaceable because, every child needs mom and dad. And, there's nothing wrong with being a single parent, but, it's still a lot of things that kids will miss out without having a dad. It's, you just gotta be there for your kids and show them, because right now it's a lot of kids that don't have both parents, and it seems like it's more and more common every day. And I feel like if you don't have mom and dad, you really gonna miss out on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. So, what is the funnest or the craziest thing you and any of your daughters has ever done?
My oldest is 6 and my youngest is 2, so we haven't had a whole lot of experiences. We've never really been on a family vacation or anything, but I'm intentional about playing with my girls every day. Whether it be going outside and riding a scooter or just picking them up and running around the house, letting them fly. So throwing them, flipping them around on the couch. So we always have fun every day. Just play fighting and wrestling and, spending time with my girls.
I'm gonna make the mamas mad. How does the mama feel about all this?
My wife every now and then, she's like, be careful, you don't hurt her, and I'm like, I know my girls,
Right.
they're tough.
They tough.
They can take it.
Right.
I would never hurt my girls on purpose. So,
So what advice would you give your younger self, Dre?
Listen to my parents and listen to the elders around me, because as a kid, I got a lot of advice from a lot of great people that I just went in one ear and out the other, and I didn't care. I felt like no matter what, I knew what was best for me, and the whole time I had no clue what was going on. So I would definitely tell my younger self to listen to my parents and my elders.
Yeah. And so you've been down that path. You've paid child support, still paying child support. You have a daughter that you now, we need to talk about that, have, pretty much joint almost 50-50 time with. Going back to when you did not have that, what is the biggest barrier that you saw that non-traditional fathers face?
Just not being able to be there for a lot of things. And, as young as she was, that was like 1 to 3 years old. I missed out on a lot of growing up and seeing her learn different things, and that was really the biggest thing. I don't know everything I missed out on, but I know eventually she was like, every time I seen her, she was just like 10 times smarter, and it blew my mind. So it would have been nice to have been there through all of that and got to experience that firsthand.
If you can take your daughters anywhere, provide them with any experience, what would that be?
So one thing me and my wife did, we went to the Creation Museum in Kentucky, and honestly, whenever my 2-year-old gets a little bit older, I want to take them out there, because the Creation Museum in Kentucky was probably one of the biggest eye-opening experiences me and my wife have ever done. So that's definitely an experience I want to share with my kids.
Mm. So you've gone from basically having your child's mother, Addie's mom, say, I don't feel comfortable with you spending time with Addison, to the point now where you pretty much, y'all just about split time.
Oh, yeah, 50-50.
50-50. Talk us through that project. That took, maybe 4 or 5 years to in the works?
Right.
Talk us through, tell the guys, because there's a lot of guys that are in where you were 5 years ago that want to be where you are now.
Right.
What would you tell them?
So I really don't even know where to start. So first thing that I had to do was, really accept the fact that I was kind of messed up. Like I wasn't even mentally stable enough to be a good father at that time. And so, you know, taking care of myself and getting the help that I needed was a big step. And just to get from where I was then to today, like even my daughter's mom told me that, you know, she was blown away at the changes that I've made in my life and that she knows I'm a different man than I was before. So just mostly taking care of myself and doing everything I could to better myself so that I could be a better father and I could be there for my kids and not just a momentary change, you know, a real life change.
Yeah. And when this man says do everything, so I'm just going to list you some of the stuff he did. Dad's Making a Difference.
Mm-hmm.
He and his wife did counseling.
Mm-hmm.
He did counseling himself. His wife have gone to parenting coaching, and they have taken couples classes.
Yep.
Like, he didn't just say, I'm going to do everything I can and then sit home and just do it all up here in his head by himself. Right. He went and sought out the resources to make it happen.
Right.
Like, what are some of the things that you've learned through that process?
That, you know, everywhere I was feeling like, you know, everybody was against me, like that's pretty common for people to feel that way. But it's, you know, I really felt like it was me versus me the whole time. I didn't want to change. You know, I still wanted to you know, do what I want to do. And for the longest, I didn't realize it, but I wasn't loving my kids the way that I was supposed to. And like I said, I wasn't, you know, really mentally stable. So getting that help and learning that about myself and talking to other people that have been through it, and just the older and wiser folks that know, you know, listen to them. They will help you for real. They helped me a lot, especially you, Reggie and James. Both of y'all been there for me this whole time, and it's been great.
So now we're having your daughters, man, and I know you want them to see that you're there for them. As they grow up, what do you hope for them? Like, you know, what is that legacy? What is that thing that Andre wants to pass on to his children?
I want them to know that, you know, nothing that you face in life is too hard to overcome. Anything that you want to do, you can do it. You really just got to set your mind to it. And it sounds cliche, but it's true. I mean, that's what I did, and it worked for me. And I feel like as far out as I was, like to be where I am today, I feel like anybody can come back. Mm-hmm. So I just want them to know that mom is there for you, dad is there for you, will always be there. And you know, I want them to know that they're loved and that they're cared for and that they have the support that they need, that, you know, a lot of other kids don't get. So they're very fortunate to have us as parents.
That's good stuff.
I always got a word for them.
Yeah. Has it been easy to work with the babies with Addie's mother, the co-parenting situation?
Initially, it was very hard, but, you know, over the years, our co-parenting relationship has gotten a whole lot better. So, you know, we can text and call each other, and, you know, there's no strife, there's no issues at all between her and I. We got good communication now, and my even her and my wife have good communication between each other. So I would say today it's pretty easy between us, but it took a lot of work.
Just bear with us. I know we got off the topic a little bit and answered the question a little, because we talk so much, man. Yeah. We talk so much, and we always try to encourage each other. So if it was off a little bit, it's just because we talk so much. We know each other.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here because I think about you, James, and what I want to do is at some point I want to get all the moms that make it seem really difficult,
mm-hmm.
and I want them to talk to y'all too. And say, look, if you want to get along with the father that you may not be with, just sit down, talk to Frankie for a little bit, talk to Andre for a little bit. They'll take ownership, you know, because they did some of it was on them.
Right. Definitely.
Some of it's on them.
Right.
But this is what they're talking about. This is where they're coming from. This is what they're going through. so that their children really are able to experience the best of both worlds. Because you can't make an imperfect situation perfect.
Right.
But you can still set your kid up for success anyway.
There you go.
And so, whew.
He always got a nugget for us every now and then. That's why, you know his nickname now.
What's that?
Batman Madison. That's his new name, y'all. So when y'all see that light over Chattanooga, y'all already know.
Now, Andre, kind of as he said, I've appreciated just the determination, the growth, watching you and your wife of now. How many years y'all been married? Like 5 years, 4 years now?
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
Yeah, you and his wife for 5 years. Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
A beautiful family.
Yep.
Just learn how to work together.
Right.
And going from, man, like you said, y'all been through. They're ready to be at each other's throats. And now they can't keep your hands off each other.
Nah. Always smiling and talking.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Food is the way to her, too. You long as you feed Melanie, she gonna be your friend. Melanie, look, you go out girl, though. You my girl, though.
But, I mean, just the generations that you're changing. Man.
Definitely. Man.
You're the path that not only you could have potentially gone down. Because here's the deal. You know it. You probably had some more kids. Now, no telling how many different women there would have been by.
Right.
Probably would have had some more.
Yeah.
But instead, to kind of solidify that and stabilize it in a way that they grow up with a certain amount of peace, a certain amount of stability and security. They don't have to worry about, is dad coming home? Is dad going to treat us well? Am I going to see dad in the streets running around with, who knows who? Am I going to, see you on Facebook or whatever? But to know that often dad's there to put him in at night, to give him baths, to play, to toss him up around, all that kind of stuff. We can go out and do a lot of things in this world, but nothing beats that right there. Right. And it's got to be a great feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be a great feeling. So we are glad you're here. Glad you came with us. Keep making a difference, man.
Keep making a difference, Ray.
I'm going to do what I can.
Take care.
You've been listening to Dad's Making a Difference, powered by First Things First. Join us for our next episode right here.